Question number 8, Catherine Delahunty.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker.
Tēnā koe.
Tēnā koutou te whare. To the Minister for the Environment. Will he commit to a regulatory regime that includes swimmable rivers in light of the comment from a Havelock North café owner who said that, quote, "We'd trade all the compensation in the world if it would spur the government into tidying up or cleaning up the waterways"?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The government is already committed to a program of improving the swimmability of rivers. Specific river clean-up programs that the government is funding include the Waikato, the Manawatu, the Wanganui, the Waitangi, the Bulla, the Rangataiki and the Marae Totara. In the 7 years we have been in government, we have spent more than 7 times what the previous government spent in the preceding 7 years. We're also the first government to initiate a national policy statement on fresh water, which includes requirements for improving water quality and which we are currently strengthening.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Catherine Delahunty.
Will he ask the Attorney-General to specify that land use across the country be investigated in the Havelock North inquiry so that the role of agriculture and other sectors in the health of waterways can be looked at objectively?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the terms of reference for the inquiry into the Havelock North incident are very wide. What the government does not want to do is to inject into those terms of reference some prejudice as to what occurred. In my view, that inquiry needs to be able to have all the powers it needs, but without the government, the Green Party or anybody else predetermining what the cause of that awful incident was.
Supplementary question, Sarah Dowie.
To the Minister, what is the standard requirement for water to be swimmable and how does it compare to the drinking water standard?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, the drinking water standard is 500 times tougher than the swimming guideline, i.e. for water to be swimmable you need to have an E. coli count of less than 500. For the water to be drinkable it needs to be less than 1 E. coli. That is, even if every single waterway in New Zealand met the swimmable standard, we would still need to have councils selecting and protecting drinking water standards to ensure that they were safe.
Supplementary question, Catherine Delahunty.
Will he reject the warnings of Dr Russell Death, as the Prime Minister has done, who says that even if we chlorinate all our water supplies, people are still going to get sick from waterborne pathogens associated with intensified dairy sector?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The bit where I differ with the member is that you cannot have modern agriculture and also for this country to have high standards of water in our water bodies. And if we have good management practice, if we have the technical efficiency standards, if we implement the national fencing requirements that our government has proposed, if you implement the NPS that we have proposed, this country can have a strong, vibrant agricultural sector, earning this country a living, as well as having the very best lifestyle and a high standard of water quality.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Catherine Delahunty.
Does he think that 10 million cows cause serious harm to our clean rivers and drinking water? Or is he sticking with his theory that native bird populations and volcanic ash are the real reasons he cannot commit to swimmable rivers?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr Speaker, there are water bodies that are unswimmable because of birds. There are others that are unswimmable because of volcanic activity. Where I would challenge the Green Party is that to make the link between the Havelock North community, actually Havelock North has a very low level of dairying. If the Green Party wants to maintain their story that intensive dairying is at the cause of the Havelock North problem, perhaps that might run true if it was an area like Canterbury or if it was an area like Southland or was an area of Waikato that has had very expansive growth in the dairy industry. I just urge that member, let the inquiry do its job. Members of Parliament should not draw conclusions as to what was the cause of Havelock North until that inquiry is completed.
Question